And hello and welcome, everybody. A whole season's work has come down to this. It is 4 o'clock on the dot, Central Standard Time, and the Minnesota Vikings radio network is on the air and online. The Minnesota Vikings, after having the best game in the series last week, we're going to take a look at that super quickly, and then we will get you out to U.S. Bank Stadium for the Super Bowl. Now, we had to start this early due to some more scheduling conflicts. So here we go. The Minnesota Vikings win from a late touchdown, 27-24 against the Seattle Sea Chickens. Offensive yards, we defeated them in every single stat and category. Pass yards, holding Russell Wilson to 94 yards. 21-10 offensive touchdowns. The turnovers, we had 2, they had 3. Third down conversions, we were 6, they had 1. Time of possession, we held the ball almost 30 minutes. They've had it for 12. Almost 13, actually. And the red zone percentage, they were 100 and we were 83. As you can see, as we go back to the box score, as you can see, this game got out of hand really, really quick. At one point, it was... yeah, at one point, it was almost out of reach, and then we came back to win the game on a literal last-second touchdown. I'm confusing this game with the Green Bay game. The Green Bay Packers game, of course, we were down 41-14 at one point. This game, not so much. We're going to take a look at the Chiefs and Broncos and see what we're going up against. So offensive yards gained, they had 340. 113 rush yards and 227 passing yards. So they did have a turnover. They were 6 for something on third downs. The Broncos had to go for it on 5 fourth downs. They had 3 offensive touchdowns, and they did not hold the ball longer. We're going to go into these player stats and see what we're up against. It is not Alex Smith who is going. It is Latevin Rushing. We're going to have to take a look at him and see what he's going to do here. 227 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he went 19 for 30. Rushing Jamal Charles, 20 carries, 97 yards. And then Christian Smallwood, of course. And in the receiving game, Marcus Wheaton, Willie Snead, DeAnthony Thomas are the 3 wide receivers. Of course, Travis Kelce. So nobody really stood out. I mean, Marcus Wheaton, 5 catches, 85 yards. And then DeAnthony Thomas with the touchdown, as well as Jamal Charles in the passing game. And on the defense, they did have a double-double in this game. Derek Johnson and Tom Bahali. So that is to be expected. We are looking at about a 4:30 kickoff, a little bit earlier than what we originally planned. But we're going to go ahead and, like we did last week, we're going to prepare you for the Super Bowl here. The Minnesota Vikings against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the Vikings are the away team, and it's in their home stadium. So it's going to be weird for sure, wearing away colors in your own stadium. But if the Minnesota Vikings prosper here today, we will be the first team to go into their own stadium at the Super Bowl and win it. So the preseason, we're going to go to our team schedule so that it's easier to see so we don't have to scroll through everything. The preseason started out on a bad note, 47-54 losers against the Saints. And then we go to the Colts, we beat them 31-24. Then we have the Chargers, we lose to them 24-38. Then we destroy the Bengals. Then we go into the regular season where we start against the Saints, we lose again, 39-51. Then we take on the Eagles at home, and this starts a 3-game winning streak. 49-37, 56-35 win over the Lions, and 34-28 win over the Falcons. Excuse me, must have been that. Oh, double trouble. Must have been that bad soda I had. And then we drop on to the Los Angeles Rams. Like, how does that even happen? Am I right? 34-48 losers on the road, and then we come home for 2 where we sweep the Lions for the season, 37-26. 45-38 victors over the Ravens, and then in the debacle at Chicago, where we lose the whole first half of the broadcast, 43-37 in a very close game. We have our bye week going in 6-2. Very good. And then our second best game of the series. I'm going to call it the Steelers. It doesn't show it on the scoreboard, but this game was close down to the wire. We get the ball back after an interception, and then we score again. So 60-48 victors in Pittsburgh. And then we lose to the Packers 43-52. We defeat the Bengals 45, and we don't look back, and we win out the rest of the season, I do believe. Then we sweep the Bears 50-24. We take care of the Bucks by 20, 51-31. We face the Panthers, beat them 48-23. And then the Packers game, where we utterly destroy them, 55-20. And then the Browns game, where Smeagol starts, gets injured, and he has not been back since until today, 44-14 victors. And then the postseason, in what was the best game of the whole series so far in terms of suspense. 68-66 going to the Packers, beating the Packers in the divisional round of the playoffs. Then the championship game, I'm going to put this one at number 2 just because it's not a rival. Now, if the conference championship came down to us and the Packers and we had the same outcome, winning by a touchdown late, I do believe that would be number 1, but because it's against the Seahawks, it will be pushed down. And we had a lot to overcome. We're going to go take a look at the... There we go, at the box score to this. Game 24-7 at the end of the first quarter. Wow. And then the second quarter begins, and it is a little bit closer. Scoreboard doesn't do a good job of... We can't go into the scoring summary. That's what I really wanted to go into here. That's okay. So at one point we were down 41-14. And then the Green Bay Packers hit a field goal right before the end of the first half, making it 43-14 or 43-28. And then as you can see, we outscore them in the second half to claim our ticket to the NFC Championship game, where we win on a last-second field goal by Daniel Hendricks. Wow. And then that brings us here to the Super Bowl. It's been a long season, the second season in the series. The first season we went 8-8 and got eliminated from playoff contention by the Chicago Bears. We had to beat them to have any chance, and we lost to them in the last game of the season last year at home. So this team has come a long way from 8-8, now 13-3 and in the Super Bowl. So you can look at it any way you want. That's what I'm going to do. So we're going to take a look at the injury reports now and shift into the pregame movement here as we get near and nearer to kickoff. Thaddeus Rozu tore his shoulder. He will sit out the Super Bowl. He is on the sidelines. He's going to have surgery tomorrow. And that is just bad. It's going to keep him out for most of the offseason. He will be back by training camp. Sam Gable tore his bicep. He really tried to practice this week, but he said the bicep is just not feeling 100% as obvious as a torn bicep can be, and that it will be forced to go into surgery as well, so he will begin surgery in the offseason. Both men are going to be on the sidelines here today, though. Going over to the Chiefs. Chandrick West. Well, that is why Alex Smith is not playing. He is injured. So, I didn't even say that right. Charkandic West? I'm butchering this, I know. The speedback, he tore his Achilles. He's out for 37 weeks. That's going to keep him out, I think, until the preseason. Oh my heavens! So he is placed on the IR. Alex Smith, partial ACL tear. I'm not sure how long ago that was suffered. We don't keep up with every single injury in the league. Um, but yeah, 3 weeks left. He's out. And then Caleb Johnson, the left guard, second year man, broken femur. He is out as well. So that left side, I'm not sure if he's the starter. I'm pretty sure he is not. At 72 overall. Yeah. So that is going to do it for that section. We have Ron Barr. He's down on the field right now. The GM and owner of the Minnesota Vikings will be on the sidelines, hopefully with Bobby Tunnel, if not, whatever. But he has promised us he will be here after the game to kind of contribute to the post-game show. So, there is that. So Smeagol is in the game today at quarterback, and that gives us a question about Cody Kessler. Do we need Cody Kessler if we have Kenny Erickson and Smeagol? Now, there is a player sitting on the practice squad we would like to call up, and that is going to be one of these men. I mean, Rashid Spinks sitting on the practice squad all season. Wesley Holm was added later, and Xavier Howard, of course, was added later. So whoever we pick, we're going to have to change the formation subs for that position and get them in there. For now, let's go in and let's upgrade a couple of players here as we wait for kickoff. This is the boring part, of course. Couple of things to note. That Ron Barr will be on the broadcast afterwards. The last time he was here on the broadcast, he, of course, had that epic meltdown where he talked about his Beats by Dre headphones, his $20,000 pair of custom Beats that he so openly used. If anybody excuse me, if anybody wants to go back and look at that, that is definitely worth a look and a listen to, because that was priceless. He was all about his $20,000 Beats by Dre headphones, and he said that I did not equip him properly. So it's actually quite funny. We're going to bring that up today for sure. And then he said he has some things he wants to talk about as well. So stay tuned after the Super Bowl. We're going to be giving Ron Barr some attention on the post-game show. So what's next for the Minnesota Vikings? Possibly in the offseason. What will they target as far as we update the depth chart? What will they target as far as free agents go? I'm going to assume offensive line will be a big focus, as we have a couple guys who may be retiring, and Andrew Whitworth. Actually, we're going to go take a look at that right now that I know the formation subs are set. We're going to go take a look at our offensive line. So at left tackle, Andrew Whitworth, 11 years in the league. I thought he was a 13-year man. He is still under contract one more year, 93 overall, 35 years old. Gabe Jackson is young, 86 overall. John Sullivan, 87. He is 32, though. Try Turner, third year in the league, and Phil Lowenhold at 8. So we really have a young offensive line, if you think about it. 26, I think our oldest player is 35 in Andrew Whitworth. He's still playing in this late stage of his life. He will turn 36 in the offseason. So that is something to note for sure. Let's see, there's not really anything else to talk about. We might be able just to go to kickoff. That's what I wanted to do. We're going to take a look at the formation subs and make sure that the special teams. Okay, so there would be an offense. And it would be a defense. All right. All right, so it did save, and we're going to go ahead and make a save point. There's not really too much else to talk about. I mean, we could go in and we can take a look at the Chiefs' schedule. That is actually what we will do. We will show you the Chiefs' road to the Super Bowl and the preseason, the Chiefs. 4 games, they won all 4, beating the Panthers 27-20, beating the Dolphins 28-20, beating the Falcons 21-17, and beating the Jets 31-28. They opened the season against the Broncos. Funny how they faced them in the AFC Championship game, and they played them in the first game of the season. 27-24, they win. It's actually the same score, I believe. Okay, 28-27. I do apologizing. So 27-24, and then they lose to the Patriots, big, 21-42. They bounce back. They beat the Jets to go 2-1, 24-21. They lose to the Cowboys by a field goal, and then they go into their bye week, beating the Dolphins 28-20, and the Chargers, or 28-0, and the Chargers 28-20. They have their bye week in week 7. They beat the Broncos, completing the sweep, 34-13. They lose to the Bills 24-31. They beat the Raiders 30-27. And they lose to the Giants 22-7, and then they go on a win streak of 3 games, beating the Redskins 21-10, sweeping the Chargers 36-33, and sweeping the Raiders 24-21. Losers at home against Cincinnati 28-35, and then they beat the Eagles at home 28-10, and then they go on the road and lose to the Titans 33-28. Then in the postseason, in the divisional round, they too had a first round bye. They beat the Jets 31-24, and they beat the Broncos 28-27, and that is where we are today at the Super Bowl. We still have a lot more time left and not a whole lot to go over. So I'm just going to really stretch these last couple of minutes out as we get ready for kickoff. I don't even think that we excuse me. I don't even think we have anything else to cover, really. We covered the season stats in the last broadcast before the divisional round of the playoffs. Let's see. We'd have to do it now if we want to call up somebody else to the active roster. Mario Alvarez, the kicker, who is projected to be let go in the offseason. Sad as that is, I think we found our kicker in Brandon Baker, and we want him to excel elsewhere. Wesley Holm, the tight end, and Chris Kontorowitz, the wide receiver. As far as depth goes on the offense, we're really, really good. We have Darian Wilson, Blake Letelier, Luke Slazewski, Jesse Peterson, Anthony Bisbee, and then Cameron Quick, of course. Middle linebacker, we are squared away with Nick Brown, the Pickering brothers, and Justin Lewis. And I do believe at tight end we are squared away as well with Travis Lee, Josh Gable, and Luis Gonzalez. So I don't really think. I mean, we're going to keep Cody Kessler, Mr. Cody Kessler, in the lineup, just because of how injury prone the two starters are. They've been injured for over 2 games this season, and especially this whole series. Kenny Erickson missed a lot of last season. We're going to go ahead and show you. So in 2016, just to show you the progression of Kenny Erickson, and then we'll get you out to US Bank Stadium where we will cover the game itself. 83.1 passer rating last year, 2,678 yards, 15 touchdowns, and 16 interceptions. He was longest pass of 70. He was sacked 18 times, 63% completion percentage, 8 yards per attempt, 297 a game. And it's not going to show me. Okay, yes it will. So he played in only 9 games last season. That is how injured he was. Crazy. He missed about 7 games, and then this season he only missed 4. Well, 3 including the bye week. But this season, 108 passer rating, 3,278 yards, 25 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, longest of 72. 17 quarterback sacks, so 1 less than last year. He had a better completion percentage at 70, a better yards per attempt. The only thing that was down is the yards per game average, as you can see there. And then even the rushing, he ran the ball more. With 4 rushing touchdowns, he was not afraid. Longest run of 20. He was not afraid of getting injured again. And as we're going to take a look at the second stringer, quickly, we're going to take a look at his progression and regression, if that is a thing. So last season, he was 88.5, 3,219 yards. He played majority of the season, 26 touchdowns to 23 interceptions, longest pass of 84, sacked 31 times, completing 62% of his passes, 8.8, and 321 yards average per game. Last season, he played in 10 games. The backup playing in 10 games is not what you want to see, of course, and that kind of led to what the record was at the end of the season. So 2017, he played in 8 games, played almost half the downs, and yeah. So this season, he has improved to a 106.2 passer rating. Not as many attempts and completions, but they have been quality ones at 70%. 1,645 yards, 12 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Longest pass of 75. And in the rushing game, he has run the ball less times, of course, but has a rushing touchdown this season. 2 broken tackles, 2 fumbles, 15 yards after contact. So it is about that time to get you out to US Bank Stadium and to get you to kick off the coin toss and everything that is the pregame of the big game. This has been Randy Replay. I will see you in a little bit. Me and Bobby Tuttle will bring you everything, sideline and booth, for the biggest game of the NFL season, the Super Bowl. As we make sure that the commentary is down. And it is. So here we go. We are going to get you set for Super Bowl 52, the big game. There is the trophy. Everybody's tweeting today about the Vikings and the Chiefs, as it should be. We're going to go ahead and we're going to skip. and we're going to play the full game. And really quick, we're going to change the setting. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, don't display. Okay, so there we go. We have full screen now. We're going to make sure the uniforms are what they're supposed to be. Yes, indeed. So they're going to be playing at their home stadium with the away jerseys. It's very, 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 very weird for sure. But here we go. We're going to bring you Super Bowl 52 next. And here we are, the Minnesota Vikings and the Kansas City Chiefs. It is the end of the 2017-2018 season, and the Minnesota Vikings are in the Super Bowl at their home stadium. Two wide receivers that are going to be going up against in this one, Jeremy Maclin and Darian Wilson. As you can see, their normal or regular season stats. And here we go from brand new US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. The players are getting introduced. This is what the whole season has come to. It's Super Bowl 52. Here you see the Minnesota Vikings offense running out to the field, and that is what it's all about. The Vince Lombardi Trophy, as we see the visiting somewhat Kansas City Chiefs. This is very interesting. We are the home team and we're wearing the away jerseys. Of course, Mike Zimmer, career record 40-26 with 2 playoff wins. Now on the other side, Matt Hendrick, 13-5, 2 playoff wins. This is his first season coaching an NFL squad. And as Mike Zimmer talks to the offense and the defense, he is pumping Kenny Erickson up down there on the sidelines. And here come the captains for the coin toss. It is a celebration every single year and a tradition. The Super Bowl coin toss, always televised. Here it is. And it is. And we don't even get to know. Must be technical difficulties, but we're going to have to see here. I wonder if our setting of the commentary had anything to do with that, but it looks like the Minnesota Vikings are going to kick the ball off to DeAnthony Thomas. 24 returns for over 600 yards in the regular season. Brandon Baker in the season, 87 kickoffs, 30 touchbacks, with an average opponent start of the 22.8 yard line. So just across the 20 is where they have been bringing it out. If they do, on Brandon Baker. And here we go. Brandon Baker approaches the ball and boom! Super Bowl 52 is underway, as DeAnthony Thomas will think twice about bringing it out and kneeling it. So as we meet the Kansas City Chiefs starter, Latevin Rushing, 62.5 completion percentage, 1,451 yards on the regular season for the rookie. And the Minnesota Vikings are going to start on defense. They start in their 3-4 base. Rushing has Jamal Charles in the right to the shotgun. He's going to turn. It is a play fake. He's going to throw it right down the field to Jeremy Maclin. Big gain on the other side of the 40, 29 yards. And that goes for a Kansas City Chiefs first down. So a big gainer there just to start the game. Let's see if we can get back there like we did against the Seahawks. Rushing, of course, in the shotgun again with Jamal Charles to his left this time. He's going to take the snap. He turns. He looks. That is Marcus Wheaton with the reception. 2 big gains. And that will get them down to the 19-yard line. That one goes for 13. And another Kansas City Chiefs first down. Right you are. The defense is just crumbling here early. You cannot put a free safety on Marcus Wheaton. He will burn you every single time. And that's what happened there. Back up to you, Randy. Thank you, Bobby, for that analysis. Right you are. So this defense is not really crumbling, I wouldn't say. They're just kind of letting stuff go by them here. And he's going to turn. He's going to give it to Jamal Charles. Jamal Charles will shed a couple of missed tackles. It's got to be the nerves. This is their first Super Bowl here for this squad. And that goes for 6, bringing up a 2nd and 4. And as a couple players leave and check out, the Minnesota Vikings will change formations. And it looks as though they are in the 4-3 base set. And there's movement up front, 72 on the Chiefs, it looks like. We're awaiting the call.
False start, offense.
Yes, indeed. So that'll push him back 5 yards, making it a 2nd and 9. As we have 2 safeties back in the 4-3. Rushing is underneath the center with Jamal Charles behind him in the single back set. We're going to move a couple of defensemen, and he's going to break a tackle on Big Terrell Oliver. Nevertheless, that one goes for about 2 or 3, and as we meet the Kansas City Chiefs offensive starters, the big player to watch, of course, is going to be Marcus Wheaton. There, he's not even listed, but Marcus Wheaton there on the receiving core side of the offense. 3rd and 6 now, a big chance here for both the Chiefs and the Vikings. Rushing is going to come out. He's going to pump fake once, and, or not pump fake, but fake snap, and it's going to go to Travis Kelce, who I think got the first down. No, they're going to call it 4th and inches after a big hit, and that will bring up a Colquitt field goal. I do believe that is Colquitt, actually. And we're going to get the official name here. There's the snap, the spot down, the kick is up, and it is good. So in the first couple of minutes here in the Super Bowl, Kansas City Chiefs grab a 3-0 lead off of a weird defensive stand there. And boom, the kick is away. It is Darian Wilson going to take this thing a couple inches out of the end zone, and he will bring this thing up to about the 24-yard line. And that is where we'll meet the Minnesota Vikings offense and starting quarterback Kenny Erickson. He has been playing very good this season, 70.2% completion percentage, 3,278 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. That is a mouthful for sure. So here we go. We're going to start out in the single back like we do most of the season. Travis Parker behind Kenny Erickson, and Travis Parker had open field in front of him. And he gets taken down by a defensive lineman as we meet the Minnesota Vikings offense. Player to watch in this game, Darian Wilson. He made a bold statement this week saying he would be the Super Bowl MVP. Let's see if that prediction holds up. And as Kenny Erickson comes out in the shotgun, he is flanked by Justin Vanderschaft to his right. He gets the snap. He throws to Vanderschaft, and it gets knocked away. Just missed catching that one, did Vanderschaft, as we take a look at the the Kansas City Chiefs defense. Dontari Poe and it's going to be Tamba Hali are the only people I'm worried about on this defense. Of course, Eric Berry, you have to respect him, as well as Justin Houston. So here we go, 3rd and 5, the first third down of the game for the Minnesota Vikings. And we're going to meet it out of the shotgun. Aaron Moss to the left of Kenny Erickson. Gets the snap. Looking, throwing. Open Luke Slazewski. He tries to shed a tackle but does not. Gets up to the 39. That is the Minnesota Vikings first down. So after the first down to Luke Slazewski, it is a Minnesota Vikings first down, of course. Kenny Erickson sees something in the defense he does not like, and he's going to call an audible. So here we go, 13 seconds left on the play clock in the single back. He gets the snap, throws. Matthew Peterson had to come back in his route to catch that one, but he did, gaining 4, making it a 2nd and 7. So here we go, just under 7 minutes left to go here in the first quarter of the Super Bowl. As I grab a quick drink of the water. Kenny Erickson gets the snap. He turns, hands it to Vandershoff, who does not get anywhere. He will go for a loss of 1, actually, making 3rd and 6 now. It's so weird hearing that, isn't it? Cheering for the defense in your home stadium, that has to play into this, just the weirdness of this game that it's going to be. So 3rd and 6. Kenny Erickson gets the snap out of the shotgun. It's a quick throw. Jesse Peterson, he will not have enough for the first down. And that will go as a gain of about 1. They're not even going to give him any gain on the play. And Jesse Peterson shoving a defenseman for the Chiefs, and that will bring out Taylor Pauline to punt the ball away here for the Minnesota Vikings. Gets the snap. Boom. Kick is away. And this is a good one. They're going to mark it out at the 5-yard line. So here in the Super Bowl, we have a good play finally. It is off the foot of Taylor Pauline, knocking it down to the 5-yard line. That is where the Minnesota Vikings defense will come out, and the Kansas City Chiefs offense will take over. So pushed up into the shadow of their own goalpost, as it were. Here we go. Rushing is in the shotgun. Jamal Charles to his left. He's going to turn and he's going to hand it off. And only a 4-yard gain. Not even. Maybe 2. And as we meet the Minnesota Vikings defense. Not really a standout player, but the player I want to see do most work is Drew Ward. He had a lot of sacks this season, and he had a couple in the last game. So looking to build off that. Just stay motivated here. Here we go. Minnesota Vikings come out 3-4 base. Actually 4-3. He's going to get the snap. He's going to go. He's going to throw it to the left to Jamal Charles. And rushing will get almost enough for the first down. That'll bring up a 3rd and 3. Here we go. Cushing will get that snap. And it's Drew Ward. Batted up in the air. Intercept. Oh, my goodness. So, intercepted by Thomas Cross off of the Drew Ward pressure. Bobby, what just happened, man? Well, in one of the weirdest plays that you're ever going to see in a Super Bowl, it was tipped off of Thomas Cross's helmet, batted away by another defender, and then Thomas Cross gets it off the bounce. And as Matthew Arnsdorf hitting it back to Thomas Cross, and Thomas Cross getting the interception, all thanks to Drew Ward's, pressure of the quarterback. And Randy, did you just say he was your player to watch? I did indeed. And it proves to be fruitful here, as the Minnesota Vikings will take over on their own on the Chiefs' 12-yard line. Coming out in the single back set, Aaron Moss behind Kenny Erickson. He's going to turn, and he will give the said Aaron Moss, and he will get about 4 yards up to the 8. Excuse me, must have been that bad soda I had. It seems to happen a lot here. So, the early start of the Super Bowl not playing good in some people's eyes, but hey, stuff happens, and here we go. The Minnesota Vikings from the 8-yard line off of the Thomas Cross interception. He has Daniel Hendricks behind him in the single back. He would turn, give to Danny Hendricks. He stumbles enough for the first down, but he gets down to the 1. So after a big play, what will they do here? Well, the most suitable thing to do would be to run the ball. You got to get this Get this clock going. You're down early in the Super Bowl. Even if it is 3, you'd never want to be down in a big game like this. Isn't that right, Randy? Radio indeed, Bobby. So they're going to send Luis Gonzalez in motion to the right side of the formation as he stutter steps to the other side of Travis Lee. They're going to turn. They're going to give it to Danny Hendricks, who gains the edge, and it is a Minnesota Vikings touchdown. As the hometown crowd comes alive, Daniel Hendricks now has 2 touchdowns in the last 2 games. Celebrate, big buddy. Right you are. The toss is going to work. Seals the edge, gains the edge, and that will be a Minnesota Vikings touchdown, as you see from the slow motion pylon cam. My favorite, Randy. Back up to you. Radio, Bobby O. Brandon Baker sets to get the extra point. Snap down spot is the kick is away, and it is good. With 3:59 left to go here in the first quarter of the most important game of this series, the Minnesota Vikings lead 7-3, and Bobby Tuttle and Randy Replay are having some problems here on commentary. Marcus Wheaton will get this one. He will take it a couple yards up and kneel it down in the end zone, bringing it out to the 25. Radio, I think we're just as nervous as the young players are here in this game for the Super Bowl. Of course, the first Super Bowl of the series for this young team, and they will come out showing blitz, the double-A gap blitz, as the I formation rushing is going to turn. He's going to not give it to Jamal Charles, and he's sacked by Drew Ward. He didn't get to him last time, but he did this time. Drew Ward gains the edge. He turns around, goes around Jamal Charles, and he's going to sack rushing. Right you are. There is nobody even blocking him. He was untouched the whole way, and he brings him down from the blind side. That, of course, being a left-handed thrower of the football, he's going to have the right side be blindside. And he was just blindsided by Drew Ward. That'll bring up a second and long. Back up to you. Hey, you're getting better at this as you go along, Bobby. Pretty soon you'll be up here in the booth doing simultaneous commentaries, eh? Maybe. I mean, we'll see what the future brings. I just want to do my job. Well, you're doing a good job, as he will hand off to Jamal Charles and brought down by Tevin Fair and Drew Ward yet again. Danny Pickering, Jacob Pickering, and George Thornton there as well, bringing up a 3rd and 20. Now you just want to play bend but don't break defense. As they come on the single back set, Jamal Charles behind rushing. He will get the snap. Drew Ward trips again, almost at his second sack. Thomas Cross will bring him down for another sack by the Minnesota Vikings. An interception and a sack for Thomas Cross here early on defense, and that is Minnesota Vikings defensive football. Radio again. And this defense from the first drive into this one has been just 360'd. They let a lot of yards and a field goal. This drive they have left 0 yards out there on the field. Actually, big negative 12 yards gained by the Kansas City Chiefs, and they're going to punt it away to your Minnesota Vikings. Robert Nichols back to return. Back up to you. Well, you did my job for me. Now all I got to do is call the kick, the snap, and boom, it's away to Robert Nichols. He will field it at about the 35-ish. Oh, Robert Nichols met right away. Wow, I don't even think he saw that guy on the left side, judging how he didn't call the fair catch. Anyway, from the 45-yard line, that is where the Minnesota Vikings offense will take over, and this crowd is getting into it. During the broadcast and before the Super Bowl, we said how awkward it must be to be playing a big game in your home stadium, but be wearing away colors. As the Minnesota Vikings will come out in the single back set, Justin Vanderschaft behind Kenny Erickson. He turns, hands it to Vanderschaft, and that will be his second rush for positive yards, giving him 5 on the day. Please excuse me as I have to keep these fluids running. Randy is a little hoarse coming off of that last big game. For those of you that missed it, I do encourage you to go back and take a look. The Minnesota Vikings will stay in the single back set, moving Josh Gable, the man in motion, to the right side. Kenny Erickson will do some play action, excuse me, and give it to Justin Vanderschaft for a minimal gain, couple yards, and that'll bring up 3rd and inches. Having some trouble here on commentary for sure is Randy Replay and Bobby Tuttle, but the Vikings are in the Super Bowl, so it makes it all better. 2 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. At 3rd and inches from the 45, the Minnesota Vikings in the single back. He will turn, give it to Travis Parker. I do believe yes. Waiting for the Baru, but we're not going to get it because we're not technically the home team. Very, very stupid, and as you can see from the slow motion, he did get that first down. And the Minnesota Vikings moving the ball now. And if you're just joining us, we had a bold prediction this week. Darian Wilson saying he's going to be the Super Bowl MVP. And here we go. Kenny Erickson again out of the single back. And he goes down and he loses the football. He loses the football, and there goes the Kansas City Chiefs. Bailey for the touchdown. So the sack fumble goes to Bailey. He was right in his face after he got the snap, looking for play action. And we're going to take another look here. They're not going to give us the angle we want to see. And that will go as a touchdown, making the score Kansas City 9, Minnesota Vikings 7, pending the kick. Snap, the spot, kick is away. It is good. 10-7, Kansas City with 1 minute 23 left to go here in the first quarter of Super Bowl 52. It's not what you want to see happen as, boom, the kick is away and it's going to Darian Wilson. And he gets it back at the goal line. Here we go. See what he can do. Tries to juke out, but he gets taken down at the 22-yard line. That'll bring up a 1st and 10 for the Minnesota Vikings offense, who just had their first turnover of the game. So here we go. That turnover behind him. Let's not have another one on the repertoire. Kenny Erickson in the shotgun. He will get the snap. Thrown. Oh, dangerous throw. Almost intercepted by Mr. Russell. Showing the incompletion. Making sure we know he was the one that did it. 1 minute, 16 seconds left to go from their own 22. Kenny Erickson's out of the shotguns. Gets the snap, kind of a weird snap. He will throw it to Darian Wilson, who was open but dropped the football. That was a big problem here last game, and it continues as Darian Wilson dropping the football. Bringing up a 3rd and 10. So the Minnesota Vikings. Kenny Erickson sees something in the defense he wants to take advantage of as he goes and calls an audible. Erickson will get the snap. He throws. And Darian Wilson makes up for the drop by making a leaping catch in between two Kansas City Chiefs. First down Vikings up to the 34-yard line. And that was a risky throw, but it paid off in the end. As we have some offensive linemen. And Darian Wilson, so far he gets my MVP vote just for that play. Because up to this point we haven't had too much to talk about other than the touchdown. So here we go. Kenny Erickson turning, giving to Vanderschaft, breaking a tackle, losing the football, another fumble on the offense, and Vanderschaft loses the fumble. Parker picks it up. And yeah, I mean, 2 fumbles here on the first couple offensive drives here, and you hate to see this in the biggest game of the career here. And I do believe that ball was out before he hit the ground. Ooh, that's hard to tell from that angle. We might gonna give this one a challenge just to see what we can do. And of course we can't. So that will have to force to be Stan. Very, very good. So here we go. Kansas City Chiefs coming out in the single back set. Rushing, and Jamal Charles behind rushing in the single back. He's going to turn. He's going to give it to Jamal Charles, and he will get up 9 yards to 26. Bringing up 8 yards, bringing up a 2nd and 2. You hate to see turnovers, especially in a big game like this. The biggest of all the games. As they're going to move Aaron Nelson up to the line. He will turn. He will give it to Jamal Charles. He will not get the first down at first look here. Nope, 3rd and 1. And that is most likely going to be the last play of the first quarter in Super Bowl 52. As they go to line up to play another, they will run out of time, and that will bring up the end of the first quarter and a 3rd and 1 to start the second. at halftime. Your score, Kansas City 10, Minnesota 7. Welcome back. Start of the second quarter. Your Vikings are down here in the Super Bowl. 2 turnovers have led to good field position here. We got the ball back after the last one. This one seeming to not be the case, and that's going to be an offside or a defensive encroachment call on Justin Lewis as he misjudged the snap count. Yes, offside, I'm sorry. Automatic first down. Oh my goodness. And Mike Zimmer is talking to the coaches, or the referees, trying to get that thing reversed, but to no avail. It will stand, and that will be 1st and 10 from the 19 for not the Kansas City Chiefs. He will turn, he will hand it to Jamal Charles yet again, who will be brought down by Nick Brown after gaining 6. So they will leave Paul Fritchie up kind of close near the linebacker spot. Rushing from the shotgun, he will turn. He will give it to Jamal Charles yet again. Will be brought down by Thomas Cross. 3rd and 3 now. And at this point, you just want to play prevent defense, not really do anything you're not used to doing here. Or not really do anything you're uncomfortable with. And here we go. Rushing out of the shotgun, Jamal Charles behind him. Or to his right, he will turn. He will overthrow his wide receiver, bringing up a 4th and 3, and the field goal unit will come out onto the field. So while we're not out of this game yet, 13-7, if the kick is good, we need to score points next drive. Awaiting the snap, the spot, the kick away. It is all good as Kansas City pulls ahead 13-7 now. So ball security will be a big issue as boom, a big point of emphasis here on this next drive as Darian Wilson takes it from the goal line. He crosses the field, comes back across, gets taken down by the kicker. I still don't know his name at the 29-yard line. That is where Minnesota will take over. Please excuse me. And here we go. 1st and 10 from the 29. Kenny Erickson will get the snap. He will turn, he will throw. Blake Letelier down the field, across the middle of the field, right side of the field, down to the 49, other side of the 50, 22 yards, and a Minnesota Vikings first down. I'm going to do it now because it's not playing in our home stadium, and I think that is a bunch of BS. And so after the big catch by Blake Letelier, it is Travis Parker behind Kenny Erickson in the single back. He will turn, he will give it off to said Travis Parker, and he struggles to get 5 yards. Check that, they're going to give him 4. Bailey on the tackle, we've been calling him more times than I would like to. So far, so good, all things considered. As the Minnesota Vikings come out now in the shotgun, Kenny Erickson gets the snap. Turns, he throws to a open Darian Wilson, and he's making up for his earlier drop as he will score. Touchdown Vikings, and we're all tied up at 13. So keeping the game interesting. The kick will decide if we go in to the lead or not. Right you are. Darian Wilson so fast, and it looks like his prediction is coming true, as now that is leading in the catches and leading in touchdowns here. Boom. Roasted and toasted. Back up to you, Randy. Okay, radio, I suppose. And as we await the kick from Brandon Baker, this to put us in the lead. Snap down, spot, kick, almost blocked. It's away, but it's good. The Minnesota Vikings lead 14-13 with 8:06 left to go in the first half. We'd like to remind you, coming up at halftime, it's Metallica. Yes. Metallica leads the Pepsi halftime show But during that time, Randy Replay will bring you stats analysis and all things Minnesota Vikings first half Super Bowl football. But until then, you have to watch this defense work as the Minnesota Vikings defense will come out looking to repeat their performance from last time. Rushing will call an audible, as well as the Minnesota Vikings defense will, bringing Tevin Fair to the left side. He's going to turn, he's going to throw, dropped by Travis Kelce. Brought down by Thomas Cross, who is all over the field today. And if we keep this up, he's going to have a double-double here at halftime. The Minnesota Vikings defense, of course. So here we go. Coming out of the far package, the rushing is under center. He's going to turn, he's going to give it to Drew. Nope, it is a play fake. Drew Ward trips again. Oh my goodness. So Drew Ward trips again. He gets the pass off to Thomas Kelce, or Travis Kelce rather, taken down by Robert Nichols, and that will lead to a 3rd and 7. No reason to do anything special here, just play defense, prevent defense. That's what I should be saying. Justin Lewis moving up. Rushing will throw. Overthrown again on 3rd down. That will bring up 4th and 7. And that's the problem, throwing across your body like that. Left-handed guys throwing to the right side of the formation, they tend to overthrow their targets, and that's what happened there. So we got a little lucky as Colquitt goes back to receive this kick. Is Robert Nichols. Here we go, Colquitt. Boom! Kicks it away. Robert Nichols doesn't even have to move, goes right to him. Catches it. Robert Nichols going to do some work here as he weaves, bobs, and gets hit very hard. He's okay, he's not slow to get up. He's checking his helmet. Everything's good. 15-yard return up to the 38. And here come the Minnesota Vikings offense. So in a very, very good situation here to be in. From the 38-yard line, 1st and 10. Out of the single back, Kenny Erickson will drop back to throw. He will throw a bullet pass. And only gains about 2 yards to Travis Lee. Kind of a weird play there. Excuse me again. So here we go. Kenny Erickson out of the shotgun. He will get the snap, a hard snap. Throws across the middle. Blake Letellier, I do believe he has enough for the 1st down. No, 3rd and inches. So 3rd and inches is the call, even though the ball is right on the line to gain. Justin Vanderschaff behind Kenny Erickson in the single back. Kenny Erickson pointing out to his tackles. As we're going to get a couple breathers here. Oh, there's the snap. Goes to Vanderschaff, who almost breaks a tackle. You could see him coming in. But Dontari Poe finishes off Justin Vanderschaff, 4 carries, 10 yards in the Super Bowl for him. So here we go. Staying in what looks to be the single back set. Danny Henricks this time behind Kenny Erickson. Kenny Erickson gets the snap, turns, and a stutter step. Stutter step, Danny Henricks. He has one man to beat. And he will misjudge on the stiff arm, but he will be brought down after a very, very good run. 1st down Vikings. So it's Kenny Erickson and Danny Henricks having a good little relationship here in the postseason. 5:44 left to go. Minnesota Vikings coming out in the single back. He will get the snap. Go play action. Pass over the right side of the field to Luis Gonzalez, gaining 5 yards. Of course, struggling with drop balls here in the playoffs. It's good to see people catching balls here in this game. Kenny Erickson sees something in the defense he would like to take advantage of. He calls an audible. Turns. Another play action. He will throw. Josh Gable holds onto the ball, goes down to the ground. Other side of the 5, that is the Minnesota Vikings 1st down, bringing up 1st and goal from the 5 here in the most important game of the season and of the series so far. So you want to make the right call here. So from the 5-yard line, they have Danny Henricks in the backfield. They're going to wear this clock down a little bit. Luis Gonzalez, man in motion. And he will give to Danny Henricks, who gets into the end zone. Touchdown Vikings! second rushing touchdown of the game for Daniel Hendricks as he pushes Phil Lodehold out of the way. The Minnesota Vikings have a 20-13 lead. Right you are, and the key player to this, even though it's not going to show up on the stat sheet, Luis Gonzalez. He throws the block and gets that big body in there, throws the block, and makes a lane for the second rushing touchdown of Daniel Hendricks' day, and the Minnesota Vikings lead. Back up to you, Randy. Right you are. As Brandon Baker adds the extra point, it is 21-13. 4:46 left to go in the first half. Minnesota Vikings lead. So can we get back to Minnesota Vikings football here where we get a lead and hold it, or are we going to pour it on here? DeAnthony Thomas will take it 3 yards deep in the end zone and kneel it down. So as we have the lead here going into the closing minutes here of the first half, we get the ball back at the half. So any points here, if they score, obviously we don't want them to, but if they do, something happens, I think we just run the clock out because this offense can score. We've been doing it all season as Jamal Charles will take it for 8 yards, bringing up a 2nd and 2. I think we just got to run the clock out here. We get the ball back anyway, unless if it's a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, then we get a little more aggressive. As the split back here for rushing out of the shotgun. He will play fake. He'll throw across the middle to Marcus Wheaton again, the guy I was talking about in the pregame and leading up to the kickoff. Marcus Wheaton gets his 2nd catch of the game, I do believe. Let's see, yes, 2nd catch for 40 yards. Insane. As they're coming out of the I formation with the fullback and the Jamal Charles behind rushing. Willie Snead is the man in motion. He's going to go into that weird set that we were talking about, and that is a tackle for loss. 2nd tackle for loss for Drew Ward. He also has a sack. So just coming behind the line and taking out Jamal Charles, that is what we've been focusing on, and we've been doing it pretty good here today. So Leo Neal checks into the game for the first time for the Minnesota Vikings as rushing is in the shotgun, flanked by Jamal Charles to his left. And oh my goodness, just gets beheaded by Josiah Russell. And I think, okay, he's slow to get up, but Jamal Charles is up. So we're going to look at it in the background. Just boom, big hit put on right here. Has to come back around in a big hit. Wow. So that will bring up a 3rd and 12 here for the Minnesota Vikings. Josh Fitzer out there on the left side. As play fake. Chased down by Otis McMiller and a couple more Vikings. Otis McMiller is going to miss on the tackle in it. That will be a flag. He threw it in front of the line of scrimmage. And this should bring up 4th down. Yes, 4th and 16 as we accept the penalty. So we got a little bit of a break there. Either way, it would have been 4th down. But with 4th and 16 with the flag, we'll take that as well. As the Minnesota Vikings awaiting the punt. Robert Nichols back near the 10-yard line. Colquitt will stick his leg into this one. Robert Nichols will move forward and wave as it bounces into the end zone. We will take over from the 20-yard line. So 1st and 10 Vikings, you have the lead. No reason to do anything that you're not used to doing here. Just go out and play what you've been doing the whole season. It has worked. So here you go, out of the single back set. Travis Parker behind Kenny Erickson. He's going to turn. He's going to give it to him on the draw. And that will gain about 3 yards, making a 2nd and 8. Yeah, here we go. So out of the single back, he's going to turn. He's going to give it to Daniel Hendricks, who will take it about another 6, making 3rd and 2 now for the Minnesota Vikings. You have to give it to the hot hand, and right now Daniel Hendricks is that hot hand. He leads the team in rushing, and this will bring it down to the 2-minute warning here for the first half of Super Bowl 52. And 3, 2, 1, and Kablushka-Newski. We are down to the 2-minute warning of the first half. Super Bowl 52, the Minnesota Vikings lead 21-13. We will be back after this short pause. And we're back. 21-13 your score here. 2 minutes left to go in the first half. As we've been saying multiple times, it is now 3rd and 2 here for the Minnesota Vikings. Danny Hendricks still behind Kenny Erickson in the single back. He's going to give it to Daniel Hendricks, and he falls ahead for a good gain. Minnesota Vikings will go no huddle. Very interesting. They're going to go no huddle, being a little bit aggressive here as Kenny Erickson from the play action. He's going to take it, and he gets a gain of about 5. Hoping to see somebody open, but Josh Gable got caught behind the line of scrimmage, and that forces the quarterback run by Kenny Erickson like you saw. So 16 passing plays against 14 running plays, keeping it well balanced here in the first half of the Super Bowl. Kenny Erickson throws to an open Anthony Bisbee. Now, Gaines had a play on the ball. He just ran right past it. Very, very lucky break there, you could say, as Kenny Erickson will complete this drive by going no huddle. He's going to throw it across the middle of the field to Cameron Quick. And they will call their first timeout. Kind of a weird situation here to call a timeout in after 2 good completions. You want to keep this defense going, but we call the timeout. We'll step aside. As we're back, the Cameron Quick reception went for 19, as you just saw across the screen. As the Minnesota Vikings looking for a good play here. And here we go. 25 seconds left to go on the play clock as Travis Parker flanks Kenny Erickson in the shotgun. It's another play action. And another Luis Gonzalez catch. And he takes 3 Kansas City Chiefs to make him get down. And that is his second catch and another Minnesota Vikings first down. Staying on the feet, churning the legs. That is what it's all about here. As the Minnesota Vikings playing aggressive here, showing the pass game a lot and often here. Kenny Erickson staying in the shotgun. He's going to turn. He's going to float one out to Luis Gonzalez yet again. And that will only be for 2-yard gain as they're coming back up to the line of scrimmage in a hurry. And Kenny Erickson looking over the defense. He'll get the snap. He'll throw to an open Luis Gonzalez, turning into the end zone, and that will give us 3 straight Luis Gonzalez completions and a Luis Gonzalez touchdown, making it 27-13. He broke off the route late, and your Minnesota Vikings officially go up by 14. Right you are. Luis Gonzalez drawing the not the running back, but the linebacker, and he kind of gave up on him. And that's what you get if you give up on Mr. Gonzalez. You get burnt. Radio Ababio, and penning the kick. Spot down, kick away. It is good. The Minnesota Vikings lead 19 seconds to go here in the first half, 28-13 in Super Bowl 52. So we're going to kick it away, hopefully to DeAnthony Thomas. Boom, kick is away, and that will be Thomas. And he's going to take it out of the end zone from 2 yards deep. Just hit by Robert Nichols, and that will be a 32-yard return, bringing it out to the 29. Like we've been saying all game, there's no reason to do anything here that's going to put you into trouble. Don't do any stupid blitzes, just play prevent defense. As Matthew Arnsdorf a little bit out of position. A couple pump fakes here, and here comes the pass. And it's a big one, batted away by, I do believe that was, yes, Zachary Anderson Of course, Bush was back there as well. So now the Minnesota Vikings will go in complete prevent defense, and they're going to give some cushion to the wide receivers here. Justin Lewis going to come on the pass rush. They're going to send 4, and it will be a catch down the left side of the field. I'm not sure who that was. I think that's Jeremy. Yes, it is Jeremy Macklin for second catch of the game. And here comes 3 seconds left. Looks like they're going to go. Yes, this might be a Hail Mary situation. As Rushing will get the snap. He will throw it down the field. And it is overthrown. He had a man with a couple steps on Paul Fritchie. And that will bring us to halftime. Be sure to stick around for halftime stats and analysis of your first half of Minnesota Vikings football here in Super Bowl 52. Randy's voice is getting hoarser and hoarser as this game goes on. Don't worry, we will go over all of this coming up here in a little bit. And we're going to actually go see if we can go back to that interception from the first quarter. Here it is right here. So for those of you that missed it, this was all the way back early in the first quarter. Drew Ward is going to come right through again. We've seen him this whole game get pressure. He's going to come untouched. Rushing is going to rush the throw. No pun intended. Thomas Cross is going to come around. It's going to bat off Thomas Cross's helmet. Go up in the air. Matthew Arnsdorf going to miss the interception. And then Thomas Cross comes back and gets the interception for the craziest interception we have seen this season. For sure. So a man who has it bounce off his helmet as he's going for the ball, have it tipped by a cornerback, and then the man who's had it tipped off his helmet gets the interception. You can't write this stuff up. This is just really good football. And there it is right there. So we're going to get into these halftime stats and get you back out to the second half of the Super Bowl. So everything is pointing in the way of the Minnesota Vikings. Score 28-13. Total yards of offense 266 to 117. Rushing yards we have 88. They have 31. We have 178 passing yards. They have 86. First downs we have 12. They have 4. Punt return yards they have 31. We have 31. They have 0. Sorry. Kick return yards 76 to 32. And total yards of offense 373 to 149. Now we have 2 turnovers, 2 fumbles by Kenny Erickson and not Daniel Hendricks, Justin Vandershoff. They have 1. Third down conversions, we are doing good, 5 for 6, and they are doing bad, 0 for 5, of course. Fourth downs and 2-point conversions, there have been none. We're both 3 for 3 and 2 for 2, both 100% in the red zone. We have 3 touchdowns. They have 2 field goals. Penalties, we have 1 for 5 yards. They have 2 for 10, and we are leading the time of possession 12:24 to 7:36. We're going to send out one more reminder for the stream here just to make sure everybody gets in when they can. Or when, if they want to. And anybody that wants to share it, do go ahead, as Randy's going to ramble on here as we send out this last notification. Second half of the Super Bowl. Feel free to leave a comment. Let me know that you're here, as now that we're going to continue. In the first half, the Minnesota Vikings stats are as follows. Kenny Erickson, 140.7 quarterback rating. So a near perfect rating for Kenny Erickson in the first half. 16 for 19, that is 84% completion percentage. For those of you that don't know how to do math or didn't look over here. 178 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Rushing, Daniel Hendricks has taken this thing away. 6 carries, 57 yards and 2 touchdowns, averaging just under 10. Not just under, 9.5 yards per carry. Travis Parker, 4 for 12, averaging 3 yards. Justin Vanderschaft, 4 for 10. He started the game in negative, and he has come to the positive side of the football yardage. Aaron Moss, 1 for 4. Kenny Erickson, 1 for 5. Kenny Erickson and Justin Vanderschaft with the 2 fumbles, leading to turnovers. Receiving, Luis Gonzalez now pulls ahead in receptions, 4 for 33 and a touchdown. Blake Letelier, 2 for 30. Darian Wilson, 2 for 56 and a touchdown. Justin Vanderschaft, 1 for 5. Matthew Peterson, 1 for 4. Cameron Quick, 1 for 19. Anthony Bisbee, 1 for 13. Josh Gable, 1 for 6. Travis Lee, 1 for 2. Jesse Peterson, 1 catch for 0 yards on that third down play. And Luke Slazewski, 1 for 10. As you see here. Nobody cares about blocking, so we're going to go to defense and look at total tackles. Thomas Cross leads the team in the first half with 5 tackles. He's been all over the field. He also has a sack and an interception. So if anybody's going to get the defensive Super Bowl MVP, it's going to be him. Drew Ward, right behind him with 4 total tackles, tied with Aaron Nelson. G. Buckle with 3, Nick Brown with 3, Josiah Russell, Kevin Stark, Justin Lewis, Robert Nichols with 2, Xavier Rhodes, Dan Nolte, Justin Vanderschaft, Anthony Bisbee, and Zachary Anderson all tied with 1. Tackles for loss? Hey. We had good. Josiah Russell with 2, Drew Ward with 2. Oh my goodness. I am getting loopy and very, very hoarse as this broadcast goes on. Xavier Rhodes with 1. Sacks, we had a couple in the first half. Drew Ward and Thomas Cross. Interceptions, we had 1 by Thomas Cross on the tipped interception for those of you that did not see it. I will replay it here in just a moment because it is a sight to see. Pass deflections, we had a couple by Thomas Cross who got his pass deflection and the interception all in one play. Zachary Anderson with 1 as well. No forced fumbles, no fumble recoveries. No block kicks or punts, no safeties, and no defensive touchdowns for your Minnesota Vikings in the first half of the Super Bowl. But Brandon Baker has not made a field goal, but he has made 4 for 4 on extra points. Punting, Taylor Pleen, 1 punt 51, netting 51 as it goes out of bounds inside the 20 at the 5. Kick returns, Darian Wilson, 3 for 76. Longest kick return of 29. Oh, man. Robert Nichols, 2 for 31, longest of 24. So that just goes to show you the special teams for the Kansas City Chiefs is not messing around. So we're going to go to that play that I alluded to just a moment ago. It is well worth the replay. As I am Randy Replay, that is my job, I do believe. We're going to take a look for the interception at the end of the first quarter. There it is right here. So, rushing is in the shotgun. I do believe this is a third down. Anyway, he's going to look. Drew Ward comes just... Nobody even touched him. They double up on a man we like to call Terrell Oliver. And Drew Ward comes in untouched, forces the bad decision, gets tipped off of Thomas Cross's helmet, goes up in the air. Matthew Arnsdorf misses the interception, but Thomas Cross gets it and goes down to the ground. This is something you're never going to see happen ever again in the NFL, let alone the Super Bowl. Almost a sack down at the 1. He just got the ball away, tipped off the helmet, missed the interception, and then intercepted. When this stream becomes reviewable, you go back to my commentary. I was lost. I didn't know what to say. And as far as the Kansas City Chiefs offensive starters go, we're going to take a look at them. Letevin Rushing, the rookie, out of Arizona State playing in the Super Bowl. You couldn't have written a better season, but he's having one of his worst games as far as the first half goes. 45.4 QB rating. He is 7 for 13. That is 53% completion percentage for those of you that don't know how to do math or didn't look right here. 95 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. Looking to change that here in the second half. Jamal Charles, 11 carries for 31 yards. We have struggled with big name and bigger backs. At 5'11", 200, I consider him to be a bigger back. Just because of the strength that he has. coming behind the backfield, or coming out of the backfield, and we have held him in check. Jeremy Macklin to 2 catches, 42 yards. Marcus Wheaton, 2 catches, 40 yards. Travis Kelce, 2 catches, 9 yards. He also has a drop. Jamal Charles, 1 for 4. Now, it's not all on the receivers. Eric Berry already has 11 tackles in the first half. It is really Letevin Rushing, the rookie, missing on almost half of his passes because of overthrows. Right there at the end of the first half, he had a guy with a couple steps on Paul Fritchie. If he would have hit him in stride, it would have been a touchdown, and this game would be a lot closer. But he overthrew him a couple of times on third down. Twice I can remember off the top of my head. 3rd and 7 and 3rd and 12, overthrew his man, forcing a punting situation. So as the Pepsi halftime show is wrapping up, we're just about ready to get you back out to kickoff. No injuries to report here in the first half. That is a blessing in disguise. And if this game gets out of hand early, you have to ask yourself, are we going to see Cody Kessler or Smeagol here in this game at quarterback? I think you have to do it if the timing is right. Because for these two guys, it's their first... we're going to actually go back here now that I know that we can. Okay. Well, there's the pass. Trust me, it was overthrown. I don't know what's going on here. That's awkward. Trust me, there was oh, that is super weird. See if it'll do it again here. Okay, here we go. Very awkward. So, problems with the technical difficulties here. As I rip gas here in the in the booth. So here we go. This is the last play of the first half here. So as you can see, he does separate. Just overthrown by a little bit. I do believe this would have been a touchdown as he was jumping. DeAnthony Thomas overthrown, and that is how the first half ended. Call it rookie nerves. I mean, you could call it a bunch of stuff, but throwing to his side, you have to be able to make this play, especially when he gets a good couple yards, yard and a half on his man. So as the crew is just cleaning up down at the 50-yard line, we are just about ready to get you back out to second half of the Super Bowl. Minnesota Vikings leading 28-13. Let's hope my voice holds up and Randy can get out of here where I hopefully call a Minnesota Vikings Super Bowl win. How good would that be? Now, I'm going to have some help from the broadcasters here at the end of the game, so you're going to see me turn up the commentary because they do a better job than Randy ever could. So the last couple seconds, if it's a no matter if it's a Minnesota Vikings win or not, we're going to turn up the commentary and they will bring you the moving last speech. We're going to get you back out to the field where the teams are ready. Minnesota Vikings receive second half kickoff. This has been Randy Replay. I'll see you after the game. No, I won't. I'm going to see you right now as the Minnesota Vikings gear up. And Bluey, it is away, and it's going towards the left side. Darian Wilson gets the ball, and he starts his return up to the 25-yard line at the NFL logo. So no reason to do any... I've been saying it all night, but it's never been any more... relevant than now. No reason to do anything special. Wear this clock down. Get out of here with your first Super Bowl victory for the series. Kenny Erickson on the single back, followed by Justin Vanderschaff. He's going to turn. He's going to give it to Vanderschaff, and he gets tackled by a defensive tackle. That is Whedon. After a gain of 1. Now, Justin Vanderschaff, not Whedon. A running back that has really taken this season over. He led the season... He led the whole NFL in rushing in the regular season. And in the playoffs, he has not been as productive as he has in the regular season. Call it whatever you will, but Kenny Erickson is pointing out to the tackles again 9 seconds left to go on the play clock. He's going to turn. He's going to give it to Justin Vandershoff, who again gets caught up as he's going for his hole there, 3rd and 6. So now what you're going to want to keep the ball here on the ground, or if you have to throw, have it be just short completions. Let your guys make the plays. Here we go. Kenny Erickson with the single back. Still Justin Vandershoff in the game, as we're going to wear this clock down as much as they can. And they're going to send Travis Lee in motion. So Travis Lee goes in motion to the left side of the formation. 9 seconds left to go. He gets the snap. It is a short throw to Anthony Bisbee, and he will go for 2 yards. And that will bring up a 4th down and a Minnesota Vikings punt. So the first drive of the second half, we gain 6 yards. Not the way you want to start the second half, definitely. But we'll take anything as long as we get that clock off. Or time off the clock, I should say. So here's Taylor Pauline's kick. It is another decent one, as this one will go out at the 26. It looked better than what it did when it landed. So that we're going to give up some field position there, but I do believe this defense has been playing okay. That will be all right. Not okay, very good. So Richard Salty checks in for the first time in the Super Bowl here, as he will get the snap. And he is brought down by Ryan Buelow, coming off of a block late. And the rookie's having some trouble here looking for open guys. Right you are. This defense is getting back there. That is, I think, the 5th sack in the Super Bowl here. Back up to you. Must have been that bad soda I had. I do believe that's my line there, Bobby, but I'll let you coin it here this one time. As rushing is out of the shotgun, he's going to get the snap. He almost goes down again. Has to throw the ball away as Josiah Russell breathing down his neck. And that will bring up a 3rd and 17. So the Minnesota Vikings playing defense very, very good. And I'm going to say it. The defense is the only reason why we're in this game. As far as the, obviously the points, and again, Scott Rethwell coming off the end, and that will force a Kansas City Chiefs punt. Obviously the points are coming off of the offense, but the defense is keeping us in this game to the point where we can do anything we want to on offense, and giving us the freedom to pass the ball here in these situations. Robert Nichols gets the punt, and there will be no flags on the field as he is going down. He needs one more block. He's not going to get it. There is a flag late, and that will go down to the 5 pending the flag. Of course, and it's on the return team. That is Josh Bush. That will bring this one all the way back to the 16-yard line. So it is a spot foul, so while it could have been worse, it's not bad at all. Minnesota Vikings will take over at the 16-yard line. Should be at the 5, but the flag will bring us back just a tiny bit. No big deal. As Travis Parker is in the backfield for this first down carry, he will go 11 yards up to the 5 for 1st and goal. So a big run there by excuse me, Travis Parker to get us into good field position into the red zone. So as we near close, just 6 minutes and 56 seconds left to go in the game. 16 minutes away from the Super Bowl victory. As Travis Parker in the backfield. Kenny Erickson's going to give it to him on the delay. Travis Parker will force his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota Vikings. And the second effort, getting stopped at about the 2-yard line, carrying 3. And I think he kind of rolled over. Yes, he did. He rolled over and stretched that ball out to get it into the end zone. So the run game, getting the points moving here for the Minnesota Vikings. Oh my heavens. 34-13 here in the Super Bowl. You hate to jump to conclusions. Brandon Baker's kick is away and it is good. You hate to jump to conclusions, but with a 22-point lead, you kind of have to have good feelings about this. As Brandon Baker kicks the ball away towards the goalpost, it will be recovered and taking a knee down by DeAnthony Thomas. So the Minnesota Vikings in the Super Bowl, getting closer to the end of the game, in the lead big. This is what you want to see. As the Minnesota Vikings come out in their 3-4 base, it is rushing out of the shotgun. He will get the snap. Leo Neal's coming towards him. He gets the sack, and it's a fumble, but the lack of Minnesota Vikings in the areas that are free will result in a fumble recovery by the Kansas City Chiefs, but still, Leo Neal getting a sack. Oh my heavens, and he dropped the ball after he went down, but either way, yes, he was definitely down, so they could challenge it, but either way, it's going to be 2nd and 20. And the Minnesota Vikings pass rush, getting there and getting there often in this game as well as the last game. As rushing is in the shotgun, flanked by Jamal Charles to his right. He will get the snap, just gives it off to Jamal Charles, and he is brought down by Jacob Pickering. Excuse me, must have been that bad soda I had. That'll bring up 3rd and 19. As we're going to switch to the big dime defense and go into a prevent defense like we have been this whole game. It has been working, and we're going to continue with it. Justin Lewis out there as well. As rushing will look out. He'll call an audible. He's going to look. He's going to look. He gets the snap out of the shotgun. It's Terrell Oliver coming down, and it's dropped. Terrell Oliver come down. He gets the pass off, but it is dropped. And the presence of Chibukwa and Zachary Anderson might have had something to do with the drop. 4th down. So 4th and 19. Colquitt is into punt. This Minnesota Vikings defense, while not doing stuff that's going to throw up on the stat sheet, it's stuff like that. Having a presence around the ball that's going to have a positive effect in this game, and it is another Robert Nichols run. He back jukes, and he will get up to the 40-yard line. So 2 very big punt returns by Robert Nichols here in the second half of the game, leading to Minnesota Vikings points. Hopefully, this one will as well. Just juked him out of his shoes. And that is how you want to play the Super Bowl, as the Minnesota Vikings offense will come back out onto the field. Ever since the second touchdown by Daniel Henricks, we have not seen Aaron Moss. I do hope it's nothing health-related, but he has not been in the game since. As Daniel Henricks is in the backfield, he's going to turn, he's going to give it to him. Kenny Erickson is, and he fights, scraws, clutches, whatever, fights, scratches, claws his way for 3 yards, and the Minnesota Vikings 2nd and 7. I totally botched that, but it's okay. And this is what Minnesota Vikings, for those of you that have not tuned in at all this season, this is what Minnesota Vikings football has been. Get the lead and then run the clock out.
Time and gets nothing.
Oh my goodness. So here we go. 4 minutes, 58 seconds left to go. And there's Aaron Moss. He checks in. And he will get up to the 26-yard line. A 15-yard run. 8 or 9 yards on the play. Wow, I am botching this as well as Bobby Tunnel is as well. So we are looking at 1st and 10 from the 26. 4 minutes, 37 seconds left to go here in the first Super Bowl for the series and the 3rd quarter. Kenny Erickson pointing out to Luis Gonzalez and looking back at Daniel Henricks. 8 seconds left to go on the play clock. He will take the snap. It's Daniel Henricks again, and he almost broke free for his 3rd touchdown of the contest. That will go up to the 12, giving him 74 yards on the game. And if there is a Super Bowl MVP, you have to think it would go to Daniel Henricks. 2 touchdowns and over 70 yards. So coming out in seemingly the same formation, the I formation, they're going to send Jesse Peterson to the right side of the formation here, as he's going to tap his booty, wait for the play clock. He's going to turn. He's going to give it to Daniel Henricks, who tries to fight but gets hit hard by 2 Kansas City Chiefs defenders, including Mr. Johnson, and that's going to bring it to 2nd and 8. So 3 minutes and 19 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. 2nd and 8 from the 10-yard line. Aaron Moss checks back in to the game. He is behind Kenny Erickson in the pistol. Erickson will get the snap. He'll hand it to Aaron Moss, who just misses the big hole to his right. And Mike Zimmer saw it, and he is shaking his head in disgust on the sideline, bringing up a 3rd and 5. So here comes the defense chance in our home stadium. Kansas City Chiefs fans from all over the world coming out to show support. Kenny Erickson again points out to the tackles. And he has Matthew Peterson, the fullback, Luis Gonzalez to the right, and Travis Parker behind him in the far formation. As they're going to bleed this clock out. He's going to turn. He's going to give it to Travis Parker. Travis Parker, open field running, but taken down from behind. Bringing up a 4th and 2. That is Bailey again. He got the fumble recovery early, and he makes the touchdown-saving tackle here. So that will bring out a Brandon Baker to attempt a 21-yard field goal to make it a 38-13 game here. There's a lot of clock to be wasted. And that's just what they're going to do. The snap, the spot, the kick is away. It is good right down the middle. 38-13 here in the Super Bowl. 1 minute, 50 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. Brandon Baker approaching the ball. He kicks it away. And that will be DeAnthony Thomas again. He's going to take it out of the end zone. He will get up to about the 26-yard line. I was going to say 30, so hey, I was almost right. And this game just doesn't have the excitement as the last one, for sure. We've been leading most of the game ever since, I'd say, the midway of the second quarter. And he almost gets Thomas across the jump. He will turn, hand it to Jamal Charles, who spins away from a Minnesota Vikings tackle. Here's some excitement. Brought down by Robert Nichols, and that is the longest run by either team today. So that will wake up the Minnesota Vikings defenders as Rushing comes out in the empty shotgun. Pats his booty. Drew Ward comes on the pass rush. He throws across the middle of the field for Kelsey as he out-jukes Aaron Nelson and goes down at about the 6. And that will be a Kansas City first down here in the red zone now. And Rushing getting things going here, along with Jamal Charles' help as they're out of the far package. Gives it off to Jamal Charles, who spins again. That patented Jamal Charles spins move does not fool Tevin Fair, as he will get the tackle. They will switch out of their 4-3 base. And they will enter the game in their 3-4. Here we go, Otis McMiller. In this weird formation that we've seen the Packers use all season, and it does not work here, as Jamal Charles will get up to the 3, making it 3rd and goal. He has 81 yards on the day now, tackled by Aaron Nelson. So here we go. It's very hard to score here, especially against the Minnesota Vikings in this area of the field. Aaron Nelson showing blitz. They're going to send him, and it is Jamal Charles getting into the end zone for the Kansas City touchdown. So despite the blitz, he gets out, and that will be 38-19. Not going to go for 2 here. Looking to make it an 18-point game. Spot down, snap away, or snap down, spot away. No, you get the idea. The kick is good. 38-20 with 24 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. That's going to give the Kansas City fans some hope as boom, kicks it away, and here comes Darian Wilson getting it at about the 4-yard line. Darian Wilson bobbing and weaving, and that will bring it up to the 31. So 25 yards on that return, and that will bring up the Minnesota Vikings first down. 19 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. The end of the game is in sight, 10 minutes away. Going to turn. He's going to give it to Danny Hendricks. Danny Hendricks is going to start, and he's going to go left and then come back to the middle, and he's going to get 11 yards and a first down. 86 yards on the day, and that will be the end of the third quarter as the Minnesota Vikings will drain this clock out as much as they can. So here in the fourth quarter now, the Minnesota Vikings lead 38-20 here in Super Bowl 52 from Minneapolis, looking to waste this clock down to the bitter end. Here comes the Minnesota Vikings out of the same formation, the I formation. Kenny Erickson gets away. He gets the ball. He gets away. And he's looking to run. So an impromptu run. He avoided the sack. And points back to his lineman and gives him the shrug. Or the fist pump, I should say. So a very questionable call to start the fourth quarter. You don't want to throw it. It looks like he was looking towards Luis Gonzalez off there, the right side of the formation. But he comes back, avoids the hit, and then gets a first down on his feet. So that is something you have to watch for. 9:20 to go here in the fourth quarter. He's going to turn. He's going to give it to Daniel Hendricks, who gets a big block, and he is free. Danny Hendricks is loose. Touchdown, Minnesota Vikings. And I think that is going to be your dagger, a 46-yard rushing touchdown. Now giving him over 100 yards, and we have not seen that in a very long time this season. Right you are. I mean, the big block thrown there by Matthew Peterson is going to spring Daniel Hendricks loose, and that is his third rushing touchdown of the game. Super Bowl MVP? I think so, as that will give the Minnesota Vikings lead 44-20. Back up to you, Randy. Thank you, Bobby. So 44-20 pending the kick. Snap down. Spot. Kick is away, and it is good. 45-20 here in the Super Bowl. 9 minutes and 11 seconds left to go. A 25-point lead here this late in the game usually seals the deal, but we have seen weirder things in the NFL, haven't we? And it will be Marcus Wheaton taking it out of the end zone. Almost brought down by number 32, Josh Bush, but then brought down by Josh Fitzer and a host of Minnesota Vikings. Started off the game really good and is keeping his game going with a touchdown added since the second half began. So as we're going to proceed into the final minutes of this game, it's looking good for the Vikings, but the Kansas City Chiefs, if they want to win, they need to score, and they need to score now. Justin Lewis trips, and he's going to throw across the middle of the field to Jeremy Macklin. That is a completion. Lack of commentary, focusing on the play down on the field. My apologizings, as that will be a Kansas City first down. Rushing will come out in the single back shotgun with Jamal Charles behind him. The linebackers will shift. That is Richard Salty coming up, but he gets the pass away anyway. Tackled by Chi Mukla and Danny Pickering is Travis Kelce. First down, Kansas City Chiefs again. I almost said Minnesota Vikings because I've been so used to calling it. But Travis Kelce gets his fourth catch for 49 yards. Tackled by Chi Mukla on the play. Dan Nolte checks in. Rushing out of the shotgun, he will get the snap. Throwing again to his left side, that is DeAnthony Thomas. He's spreading the ball around on this drive, and it is showing, tackled by Danny Pickering. That is DeAnthony Thomas's first catch of the game, as well as Danny Pickering's first tackle. So rushing out of the empty shotgun, he has four wide receivers to his right. And here's the snap. He's going to throw across the left side of the field to DeAnthony Thomas, tackled by Aaron Nelson there. I mean, they're just playing a prevent defense. They're not letting any big plays go down the field, and it's working. As they stay in the same formation, they will spread out the linebackers here. And rushing throws, batted away by Zachary Anderson. Third pass deflection of the game. Now, Randy Replay always has a saying, don't go for the pass, get the pick. Or don't go for the pass deflection, get the interception. Something like that. You get the idea. That definitely turns into something relevant there as Leo Neal almost gets his second sack of the game. And Rushing had to throw it away. Whatever. So here we go. 3rd and 10 quickly. Quickly, 3rd and 10 from the Minnesota 29. Rushing in the shotgun. He's going to get the snap. He's going to look. He's going to look. He's going to fire. It's Marcus Wheaton off to the left side and cuts across the middle to the 10 with a Kansas City Chiefs first down. So Rushing getting it done on this drive. 3 catches by Marcus Wheaton for 60 yards as Paul Fritchie is showing blitz. They're moving the ball and they're moving it well. Handoff to Jamal Charles. He will go to the 7, giving him 3 yards. There is just over 7 minutes and 10 seconds left to play here in this one. As George Thornton gets the tackle, he checks in again. They've been sticking with this same formation, not changing too much. As a handoff to Jamal Charles, tackled by Kevin Stark in the open field. That's what you like to see. He gets congratulated by Tevin Fair, and that brings up 3rd and 10. We're going to switch to another defensive look, and here we go. Big play as Rushing comes out of the empty shotgun. We're going to spread the defense out. He's looking, almost gets hit. Oh my heavens, that is DeAnthony Thomas making a great catch for the touchdown. And I'm sure they're going to show a replay, but even if they don't, we're going to go in and we're going to take a look at this one again. DeAnthony Thomas with Xavier Rhodes on him just got caught up, and he makes a great catch. There's the camera. Boom, look at that. Keeping the feet inbounds. Randy Replay is partial to the Minnesota Vikings, but you cannot ignore a good play, and that's exactly what that was. So Rushing gets his first passing touchdown of the game, I do believe. Maybe the second, I'm not too sure. And that kick, I know at the start of the second half he had 0, but that kick will give them closer as the Minnesota Vikings now lead 45-27. Boom! Kick is away. Darian Wilson taking it from the 1-yard line. He's weaving, bobbing all the way up to the 24-yard line. 6 minutes and 37 seconds separate us from victory. As Daniel Hendricks, no doubt going to be the Super Bowl MVP in my eyes. As they start from the 24-yard line, Kenny Erickson will turn. He will hand it to Vandershoff, and that has been the story of his day. Just nowhere to go. Insane. And as the game wears on, it is harder and harder to speak here. As Vandershoff will stay in on this 2nd and 11. Kenny Erickson pats his chest and looks out towards Jesse Peterson. Gets the snap. He's going to give it right off to Vandershoff, who stumbles and goes down after a gain of 0, 3rd and 10. And not too many plays in the playbook designed to get you 10 yards, so you just have to play the down. So they give it twice. They give it twice to Justin Vandershoff, and he does not get the job done as he's calling play audibles here. 15 seconds left to go on the play clock. 5:35 left to go in the game. 3rd and 10 from the 24-yard line. Kenny Erickson, Aaron Moss to his left in the shotgun. Waiting. He will get the snap. As he looks, he runs, he throws. That is an open Blake Letelier, and he will convert on the big 3rd down, getting them to the 43. Kenny Erickson just under 200 yards for this game. And that is what you want to do here at this stage of the game. Run it, and if you feel like you have the right play dialed up, you go for it and get that first down to keep this clock moving. As now Daniel Hendricks checks back into the game. They're going to move Josh Gable, man in motion. Out as a wide receiver. Very, very interesting. Could they go to him? 4 minutes and 48 seconds left to go. 9 seconds left on the play clock from the 43-yard line. Kenny Erickson out of the single back. Going to get the snap. He's going to turn. He's going to give it to Daniel Hendricks. The hole closes quickly, and he only gets 3 yards on the play. 12 carries, 135 yards, averaging 11.2, and 3 rushing touchdowns. You cannot argue that that is MVP worthy. Very, very good game by Daniel Hendricks, taking this game over. 2nd and 7 from the 46. Daniel Hendricks in the backfield in the I formation. 7 seconds left to go. He will turn. He will give it to Daniel Hendricks, who spins ahead to the 49. I do believe that will give him 2 more yards to go. Yes, indeed. So 3rd and 2. And they're going to remain in the I formation set, it looks like. They're just wasting time. 3 minutes and 42 seconds separate us from our first Super Bowl victory here in the series. Please excuse me, must have been that bad soda I had. So Randy Replay is gearing up to calling in Minnesota Vikings victory. Travis Parker in the backfield of this I formation. We'll get the snap, give it off to Travis Parker, who dives. Well, not really dives, he weaves around a defender. Gets the first down, and this clock will continue to run. Johnson on the tackle. He has now 6 for the game. I mean, you really hate to see the decline of Justin Vandershoff here this season. A man who was getting 100 yards average a game now enters this game just under 80. So here we go. 13 seconds left to go here on the play clock. 2:50 left to go in the game from the 42. Minnesota Vikings out of the single back set like they have been all year. We'll get the snap. It's a misdirection snap to Justin Vandershoff. He will get 2 yards on the play, giving him 16 for the game. As he throws the ball away in anger. It's not his fault. I mean, this whole season we have been running with Justin Vandershoff, so when he's in there, they're going to game plan for him. And it's just the offensive line not maybe doing enough. I'm not sure, but the play clock is 1 second faster than the game clock, so we will see one more play before the 2-minute warning hits. And out of the pistol, Travis Parker behind Kenny Erickson. Gets the snap, he hands it off to Kenny Erickson, or not to Kenny Erickson, Travis Parker, who just carries Justin Houston, or Johnson rather, across the first down line to gain, and that will be the 2-minute warning. There's 2 minutes left to go here in this one. Stay tuned. 2 minutes left to go. As we take a look at the score by quarter, we have outscored them in just about every quarter minus this one. And we could attribute that to having to maintain this clock and maintain the lead. So 45-27, 1st and 10 from the 30. Minnesota Vikings still staying in the pistol. Kenny Erickson will tap his booty with Aaron Moss behind him. Turns, he will flip to Aaron Moss, who dives right into a defense. I'm losing it here. I'm just shaking in anticipation for calling a Minnesota Vikings Super Bowl victory. For those of you that have stuck around, you're about to see a Super Bowl win by the Minnesota Vikings, pending any weirdness. We have seen some weirder things in the past, but here we go. Minnesota Vikings coming out on the single back set. He's going to turn. He's going to hand it off to Daniel Hendricks, who gets up maybe 2 or 3 yards. Not even 1 yard. 3rd and 9. So 3rd and 9. This will just about do it. They can wear this thing down to just under 40 seconds. And here we go. Or just under 50 seconds, I do believe. I'm sorry. 3rd and 9 from the 29. Minnesota Vikings out in the I formation. Matthew Peterson and Justin Vandershoff behind him. He's going to turn. He's going to give it to Vandershoff. The hole closed way too quickly. That was definitely on the offensive line. And we are now. This is going to be it. This is going to be it right here. As we're lining up for a 45-yard field goal attempt. This will be the end of the game. The play clock is 1 second faster than the game clock. And I said I would do this. I just forgot about it until now. So here we go. I'm going to let the in-game commentators take my job over as Brandon Baker lines up for this 45-yard field goal. Brandon Baker, kick is away.
And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And that will stretch the lead up to 3 touchdowns now. It's a 21-point game.
Thank you, sir.
So it's 3 more points, and that widens things out even further here in the fourth.
Hey, in this league, you can never have too much.
So here we go. The Minnesota Vikings to kick off.
Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away.
It's a squib.
Very short kick.
And that is that. Here you go.
And they're going to be set up in excellent field position up past the 45. And they have done it. The Minnesota Vikings are the Super Bowl champions. And the Lombardi Trophy is going back to the land of 10,000 lakes. And to the Super Bowl champions, they etch their name forever in NFL immortality.
That's pretty phenomenal right there. It actually gave me chills just to hear you say that, because immortality forever and ever. When you look in the record books, you'll see this team, you'll see their picture, that your name will be a part of it. That's got to be an incredible feeling, because it's been a long journey to get there, and now they get a chance to enjoy it.
And they end this year just how everybody wants to end the year, holding the Lombardi Trophy. What a season for them. What a ride it's been for us as well here in the booth. For Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you next season right here on EA Sports.
Oh my goodness, the Minnesota Vikings, your Super Bowl 52 winners. I could not have put it any nicer than they did. Finally, the Lombardi Trophy comes to Minnesota here in this series. Now, the Minnesota Vikings, we're going to get into these stats. We're going to get you back to the main screen, where we will have Ron Barr, the GM of your favorite football team, on to discuss offseason plans. And I'm sure he'll be ecstatic that his team has won the Super Bowl. So I cannot wait to hear his reaction to that. So, QB rating for Kenny Erickson. He entered the second half with a 140.8, I do believe. He ends the game on a 137.8, so near perfect. 18 for 21, that is 85% completion percentage. For those of you that didn't know how to do math or didn't look over here, 199 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. So very, very passive numbers in the yardage concerned. Seeing as how in the past 2 games he has just about 700 yards, but he didn't need to be aggressive. This running game has taken this game over, and we're going to get into that. As you saw, Daniel Henricks, Super Bowl MVP. Wow. We're going to get into this running game. Daniel Henricks took this one over. 14 carries, 142 yards, 3 touchdowns, averaging over 10 yards a carry. Just incredible. Justin Vandershoff, 10 carries, 17 yards. And he did have a fumble. And it just, every time he was in there, I think the defense obviously changed their scheme to game plan for him. So it was tough sledding for him. Travis Parker, 9 carries, 48 yards, and a touchdown. Aaron Moss, 4 for 17, and Kenny Erickson, 2 for 17 on the impromptu runs that he has had. Receiving, Luis Gonzalez ends the game with the most receptions, 4 for 33 and a touchdown. Blake Letelier, 3 for 49. Anthony Bisbee, 2 for 15. Darian Wilson, 2 for 56. And the touchdown. Justin Vanderschaft, 1 for 5. Matthew Peterson, 1 for 4. Cameron Crick, 1 for 19. Josh Gable, 1 for 6. Travis Lee, 1 for 2. Jesse Peterson, 1 for 0 yards. That is the first time any wide receiver has recorded a catch for 0 yards, let alone negative. Luke Slazewski in the Super Bowl, 1 for 10. Nobody cares about blocking, so we're going to go to defense and look at total tackles. And it's Thomas Cross and Aaron Nelson tying with 6. Chimalka with 4. Drew Ward with 4. Nick Brown, Jacob Pickering, Robert Nichols, and Kevin Stark with 3. Paul Fritchie, Ryan Buelow, Xavier Rhodes, Josiah Russell, Justin Lewis with 2. Josh Gable, George Thornton, Josh Bush, Danny Pickering, Josh Fitzer, Kevin Fair, Matthew Arnsdorf, Leo O'Neill, Dan Nolte, Justin Vanderschaft, Anthony Bisbee, and Zachary Anderson, each with 1. Tackles for loss, Josiah Russell and Drew Ward each split 2, while Leo O'Neill, Xavier Rhodes, and Kevin Stark each with 1. Sacks, there were a bunch in this one. Leo O'Neill, Ryan Buelow, Drew Ward, and Thomas Cross each have 4 sacks in the game. Interceptions, there was just 1 by Thomas Cross. A couple more pass deflections added by Zachary Anderson, ending the game with 3. Forced fumbles, there was 1 by Leo O'Neill. No fumble recoveries, no block kicks, no safeties, and no defensive touchdowns for your Minnesota Vikings in the Super Bowl. Brandon Baker added 2 field goals, hitting both of them for the longest of 45, 6 for 6 on extra points. Punting, Taylor Pulleen had 2 for 94, netting 94, and 1 of them goes out of bounds inside the 20. Kick returns, Darian Wilson for 6, 149 yards, longest of 29. Robert Nichols, 3 punt returns for 60 yards, longest of 29. So they did tie in that aspect. So we're going to get you back to the main screen now and celebrate the Minnesota Vikings Super Bowl victory, 48-27 over the Kansas City Chiefs. We have the bragging rights going into next season. We're going to chat with the owner of the Minnesota Vikings, Ron Barr, about how he thinks his team did this season and the offseason plans as far as free agents go and who we're targeting in the draft. Hopefully we could get a little bit of insight out of him as we earn the Alshon Jeffrey Legacy Award trophy. Excuse me, the Minnesota Vikings, Super Bowl champions. Good for Ron Barr, well-deserved. Good for the Vikings, but how do you not show up the biggest game in the NFL, Kansas City? So here we go. We're going to take a look at this really quick. Okay. Anyway, that's it. Pillage the Chiefs, 48-27 in the Super Bowl. Oh my goodness. That is it for season number 2 here. And we're going to welcome in Ron Barr. Ron Barr, we have not spoken to you since last season, week 4. Let us know what you've been up to and how you've been doing. You know, I'm kind of living this life where I kind of do things my way. I still have to come in here to this booth at this stadium and wear these crappy headphones, don't I? Do you know what I did this season? No, not really. I got my $20,000 Beats by Dre's outfitted with zirconias. Zirconias? You know what I'm saying, Randy. Cubic zirconias, boy. Anyway, you got a couple questions for me, man, here. I'm glad about this team. Going 8-8 last season, I was highly frustrated with this team. I mean, they brought me money in, me being the financial genius and mongrel. I don't know if you can see it up at the top there. But I have amassed $90.4 million this season. And I have these players and all my fans to thank. Wait a minute. Your fans? Yeah, my fans. Because without me, this team is nothing. And we are Super Bowl champions because of my aggressiveness. How do you figure? Well, let me hit you with some knowledge, Randy. The first season we went 8-8, right? Obviously, I mean hey, I'm talking now. The first season we went 8-8. Look at our offensive line. Gabe Jackson was not on this team last season. Try Turner was not on this team last season. And hey, look, the biggest off-season free agent, Andrew Whitworth, was not on this team last season. We went 8-8, buddy. And guess what? I signed them all in the offseason, didn't I? Yeah, I did. So apart from getting $20,000 Beats by Dre headphones and now having them outfitted with cubic zirconias, I have put together the best team in the NFL in one single offseason. Single-handedly, not by adding anybody except for offensive linemen. How do you think about that, Randy? What do you think? What do you think about that, Randy? Well, I mean, getting Andrew Whitworth was very, very vital to this team. With Matt Khalil missing so much of the season with injury and not playing up to snuff, you released everybody. You bring in Gabe Jackson and Try Turner. Those were good moves as well, but what else did you do for this team? You gave us 3 players. That's all we needed, is it not? Is it not? Is that all we needed? I just want to move on with this interview. Every time you're in here, I get so frustrated. My blood boils just at the sight of you. I'm sorry. I should not have said that. We're going to get into the off-season topic. We do have some retiring players. I think Phil Lowenholt is scheduled to retire. We have to do a couple of contracts, especially on the defensive side. Xavier Rhodes signed a 1-year deal, and Xavier Howard, where is he? I think he's on the practice squad. Oh, practice squad has been emptied. So you don't want to give everybody else a chance? Well, we do have to do a couple things here in the offseason. Yes, I agree. But the people on the practice squad didn't play for a reason. They're not up to snuff. So I let them go to test free agency. I mean, I want to bring back Wesley Holm, if not on the practice squad, on this active roster because he is such a vital part. Last season, he led the team, tight ends, I should say, in receiving. And I'm just waiting to make this big announcement. Is it about free agency? Don't tell me we're going to sign a big name free agent. Oh my goodness, this will give me a lot of things to talk about. Is it Big Ben Roethlisberger? We're not going to bring in another quarterback, are we? No. It has to do with free agency, I should say. We're going to go ahead and advance the week, and I'll tell you. Oh boy, here we go. Are you ready, Randy? This is going to break everything you've ever known about me. I, Ron Barr, in all of my genius.
This is the last opportunity to resign your players or they will become free agents.
Okie dokie. It will have to wait until we get through this part. What are you talking about? Never mind. Just keep asking me questions for now. What? Do you notice that little logo in the back? What did you do? Well, Randy, this team is no longer called the Minnesota Vikings. We have moved to Brooklyn and are now the Brooklyn Beats. How about that? Are you freaking kidding me? What? That's right, Randy. I would like to take this time. In all of my financial genius, I went down to Brooklyn. They have built a stadium for us. Outdoor football is back in the NFC North, mind you. We'll be playing outdoors in Brooklyn starting immediately. It's been subtly in the news here on your little broadcast. Nobody picked up on it. It was me. It was me, Randy. It was me all along, Randy. I've been planning this ever since the end of last season. 8-8? Are you serious? We cannot be left with an 8-8 season. We need to be prosperous. Now that we have a Super Bowl, it'll make it all the more easier to move to Brooklyn. You're looking at me with your mouth hung open. You should be excited. Brooklyn is twice the market that Minnesota is. We will be breaking in so much money and bringing football to a footballless community. I think I'm going to vomit. This has totally... I'd rather us lose the Super Bowl now. Oh my goodness. You act like you're not appreciative. I have done something for this team. I have moved them to a market that has not seen football yet, and we're going to take this time to debut the new uniforms too. Look at your new Brooklyn Beats uniforms. Aren't they wonderful? You just ripped off the Seattle Seahawks. No, I did not. I took their design and made it better. We're maintaining the purple of the Vikings, right? But we're adding in a little subtlety there in the shoulders, you could say, by adding the black and white stripes. I don't even care what you say. It looks exactly just like the Seattle Seahawks uniforms. Like, I cannot tell the difference. Well, feeble minds feed the weak, Randy. And now we have this whole offseason where we have 5 players that need to be re-signed. Truth be told, I don't regret a single thing that I've done. We do not have a left tackle, by the way. Oh man, this is great. I mean, anyway, me being the financial genius I am going to leave, and I'm going to leave your audience stunned. I got my Super Bowl ring. I don't need anything else from this team. I am outie. See ya. And as I pick up the headset that was just thrown at me, this has completely it's going to be weird calling the Minnesota Vikings games from now on. It's not even Minnesota Vikings anymore, is it? It's Brooklyn Beats. This man is okay, a little backstory here. I need a good story to get me off of this depression and depressiveness attitude that I am facing. This man is obsessed with beats in Ron Bar. So much that he has stripped the names off of his cars and replaced them all with beats. He has changed all of their license plates to different spellings of Beats, and he has spent now probably over $30,000 on a pair of Beats by Dre headphones. The man is obsessed and needs to not be an NFL owner. That will probably be a good topic to talk about here in the off-season meetings. But until then, the Brooklyn Beats. Ugh. Excuse me as I throw up in my mouth. The Brooklyn Beats have won the Super Bowl. Oh, it changed everything. Oh my goodness. I mean, I can respect him for maintaining the purple, but that's just disgusting. That logo is horrendous. The Brooklyn Beats win the Super Bowl 48-27 against the Kansas City Chiefs. Next time you see Randy Replay, it will be wrapping up the postseason with contracts and the NFL draft. To be determined, but there will be a live stream for that as well. For those of you that have stuck around through this weird and awkward ending, I thank you. Next time you see me, I will be calling Brooklyn Beats football. This has been Randy Replay signing off. See ya.